Hi, my name is Lorena Sadie. I am the founder and managing attorney of Sadie Law Group. I've been practicing bankruptcy law for 22 years now, definitely a bankruptcy dinosaur. But I wanted to, end out the year, start off the year whenever I get this video out. But I wanted to start a series on the actual bankruptcy petition. And cover each section so that folks know exactly what they're looking at. Because I do realize, as a bankruptcy attorney, we prepare these large documents and we send them to our clients to review. Of course, you have to review your petition and your schedules, make sure everything is correct, sign it, and then we're filing the case. But, to be honest, it's kind of hard, to know the nitty gritty behind each schedule. And I wanted to do this series of videos on the voluntary petition and the different schedules and the plan, just so, not only my clients, but anybody that's considering bankruptcy, that they understand how this bankruptcy, how the paperwork is actually put together, and how it interacts with your case. So first of all, when we're filing a bankruptcy, there's going to be several parts. And if you file a Chapter 7, you're going to have the voluntary petition and the schedules. If you're filing a Chapter 13, you're going to have the voluntary petition, the schedules, and the plan. Because in a Chapter 13, the plan is what is going to control the rest of the documents. So I will get to that in a later video, but today's video is going to be just on the voluntary petition. And so that is the first document that gets prepared when we're filing a bankruptcy. And let me tell you why it's very important. It's very important because this is the document that's going to reflect the last 4 digits of your social. It's going to reflect your name and any names you've gone by. It's going to reflect your address. It's going to reflect if you've had any prior addresses 3 years before filing. And it's also going to reflect if you've had any prior bankruptcy filings anywhere. And if you're a sole proprietor, there would also be a designation of that as well. So when we're preparing these, we want your voluntary petition to be, of course, 100% correct, because this is where the court is going to get their data when they put everything up on the court website, and it's what the trustee is going to be doing all the references from in your case. So when we talk about names, it is very important that we have your full name. I would say 50% of the people I meet with, for whatever reason, do not want to give me their middle name. And it's kind of funny because I haven't really seen that many hideous middle names, but you have to list your entire name. And if you don't, when you go to your hearing, the bankruptcy trustee is going to make you amend it. So make sure when you are completing the voluntary petition or when your attorney is going over it, that they list your full name. If you are a senior or a junior or a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever, that also needs to be reflected on your petition. And keep in mind, we can list, there's a section where we can list all previous names, prior names. So, your maiden name, married names, all that stuff. But you want to make sure that any name that you've gone by is listed in this section. Now, address. This is also very important because it determines what division your case is going to be filed in. I can't tell you, I've had folks that I send them the petition and they may live somewhere where they're right on the line of one county to another, and they didn't notice that the county was wrong. Well, that actually changed the whole division they got filed in. Major pain, and you just don't want to go through that. So make sure you pay close attention when you are listing your address that you have your correct county listed as well. When we get to where you've lived, anywhere in the last 3 years prior to filing, you not only need to list the address, but you need to list the dates. Now, you don't need to list the exact day, but you need to have the month and year you moved in and out of each of those locations. That is also required. As we go down the voluntary petition, you're also going to see a section where you have to reflect the last 4 digits of your social. Now, there is a page that is restricted, that nobody can see it except the folks in the clerk's office, that'll have your entire social. But just for this section, you need to have the last 4 digits of your social. And it needs to be correct, obviously. So, make sure that you pay special attention to this and you've got the last 4 digits listed. There's some other parts on the petition that have to do with hazardous materials, things like that. In 22 years, I've never had to use that, so I'm not going to address those. Those are like very, very rare and random things, which again, I've never had to use. But one thing that does come up, and I'll have clients, they'll drive me bananas about this. There'll be an LLC or there'll be a C Corp. And they will say, oh, the petition's not right. It's supposed to be here. No, it's not. It's not. So there's one part of this petition that'll have a section for if you are a sole proprietor, okay? Means you're not incorporated. If you're incorporated, we have another little section on the Statement of Financial Affairs where we'll have all of that listed, but not here. So if you are a sole proprietor on your voluntary petition, we would want to have this information listed. The other data that's going to be on your voluntary petition is actually going to show a range of like how many creditors you have, debt, your debt limit, whatnot. That's all listed. Now that's all also auto-calculated by the programs we use when we're preparing petitions. Again, that's not something you really need to worry about, but just when you're going through the petition, just understand where that information is coming from. And of course, at the end of your voluntary petition, you want to make sure that you sign and date it. So that is required. You want to make sure, nothing is filed in a bankruptcy case that doesn't have your signature on it. This is federal court, and you're attesting under penalty of perjury that this information is correct. So it is very, very important that you are reviewing everything and making sure that information is correct. So again, this video is just on the voluntary petition. Next week, I'm going to release I'm going to start releasing on a weekly basis each section of the bankruptcy petition that I think clients need to be aware of and go through. So hopefully that'll help educate you if you are thinking about filing for bankruptcy.